Welcome to the showcase. Well, over 250 episodes so far, 145,000 viewers. I'd like to thank you all. Long may it continue. We can't do this without you. We can't do this without the acts. And I think people like entertainment now on the home TV. They like to know the behind the scenes of the entertainers. And that's what we're trying to bring you, because people don't realise what an entertainer goes through. A lot of good things, but also a lot of bad things. So today we've got a double whammy, an amazing show for you today. First of all, I'm going to introduce Adam Press. Hello, Adam.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fantastic. And you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not bad at all, thanks.
Good. Can you tell us where you're from, Adam?
I'm from a little fishing village called Pontefract in West Yorkshire.
Whoa.
Yeah, not much fish around here.
At the price of fish anyway, you won't.
Oh, I know. No. Pontefract here in West Yorkshire, it's famous for our licorice cakes.
Oh, okay. I love Yeah, is that the Abibo? Is it Haribo?
Haribo, that's the one, yeah. We've actually got two sweet factories in Pontefract. It was once a thriving industry here, which it still is, to be honest, but there was I think that at one time there was like 4 sweet factories in Pontefract because we're in the licorice areas where licorice used to grow in abundance in years gone by. So that's why it became big for confectionery, but not so much now. There's 2 sweet factories left.
Adam, also you can't forget about Clubland, because it was the heart of Clubland, the miners' welfare clubs and the social clubs and the working men's clubs,
Absolutely, yeah. Do you know what?
Some of the best acts come from there, mate.
Well, yeah, them and me.
Yeah, of course. That's why we've got you here.
But no, certainly it gave me a great living in the early days and a really good start in show business. I mean, I remember, I always say I missed the best of it, because I always think the best of it was the 60s and the 70s and even the 80s, because the working men's club and the social club scene was absolutely massive. And if you were a good act in those days, you had to be a good act to be doing the clubs, and you could be working every night of the week. Whereas now you sort of don't, kids are just going on karaoke and they're getting some gear and they're getting in the club. But there aren't that many clubs left. And the chances are that if you were in the clubs in those days, you'd end up on a TV or you're on a show. One thing or another, it was easier in those days. Now, I mean, I started out 1998. I was a red coat at Butlins. Then, 1999. Then 2000 a blue coat. Then into the clubs, 2001. And there was still a living to be had, and it was still fairly thriving, but nowhere near on the same scale as it was 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Correct.
But I was lucky. I got to do some good work, and I was busy, and I sort of got the tail end of it,
Well, likewise, Adam. I mean, I lived in Holland. I used to travel to the northeast and do 10-day runs, Wales 10-day runs. Now you're lucky if you get a 1-day run.
Yeah, it's all gone. I mean, with the pro digs and everything, you do these runs. There's no runs anymore. I mean, a big ambition of mine when I was back as a club singer was to do Blackpool. And Blackpool was like, if you got into Blackpool, it was a bit of a closed book. And if you got in there, you're almost like an accolade. It was like, you're good enough to work Blackpool. I mean, now, God, it's all changed now. As Hull, I used to work Hull, and I remember the clubs in Hull. They were great. They were packed, and it was the only area in the social clubs that I remember did a link up bingo.
Correct.
Yeah, they'd link up all the clubs, and you only
could
ever
win
saw
100
that.
grand though.
I know. So it was like the gala or the Mecca, but in the clubs, I'd never ever seen that before anywhere else. Everywhere I've worked around the country, I'd never seen a link up bingo except in Hull.
Yeah, fantastic, Adam. And just quickly before we move to Cowell, who's waiting very patiently in the wings. You're a piano virtuoso.
I want to say virtuoso.
Charismatic.
I go and beat pianos up. That's what I tend to do. I'll just show up, and I'm a boogie woogie player, and like Jules Holland and rock and roll, like that something.
Well, that's charisma, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's entertainment value, and that's what people want. Yeah. So, Adam, I'm just going to put your video on for 1 second so people can see you now.
Okay.
Enjoying the ship? Yeah, there's loads to do. There's loads to do on it every day. Something to do, you've been doing the activities, you've been doing the whale watching? Yeah? You seen any whales? No. Should have been with me in my cabin. My portholes are underwater, I've been watching them all week. Anyway, when he'd finished, he walked out of the room, and one of the young ladies walked in, came up to me and said, "Who was that?" Try and salvage the relationship, I'll do everything I can. So I said to her, look, why don't we try something to spice it up? Why don't we try a bit of role play? Has anyone ever done a bit of role play? Nothing. Can we role play being an audience? Took to the stage and arguably stole the entire show. That band was Spandau Ballet.
Okay, so that was good. So we've seen your video and we've chatted to you. I'm going to move over to Mr. Cowell Tomlinson. Now, hello, Kyle.
How are we, man? You all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I must admit, Kyle, I'm pretty excited. I've done a fair few Britain's Got Talent people on here so far, and I remember watching you when I was back in Hull and watching you on the TV, and I thought, he's going to be good. When he came on, you had that attitude and you had that stance, and I thought he's going to be operatic. You proved me a bit wrong, but you had a great voice, and I was raring for you, and it was great. So, tell us a bit about you, Cal. Where do you come from?
Oh, the Steel City itself. I'm from Sheffield. I'm a Sheffield boy.
Wow. What a great city, eh?
Oh, listen, I'm very patriotic about my city, 100%. It's the city of steel. So get your spoons from Sheffield. Trust me, change your life.
Oh, I've always wanted to play the spoons, Carl. Have you ever done it?
No, I'm not talented like that. I'm not as talented as Adam in the musical industry.
No, I don't know about that. I used to work the clubs in Sheffield. I've many a good night down Sheffield.
Many.
I mean, you look at Manor Road. There was 3 clubs altogether. You could. I remember. I mean, I don't know if Carl remembers. He's a young lad, but you'd go on Manor Club, and then there's another club, and then next to it. So you'd do your spot. You'd go and see the next act in the other club, and then you go see the next act, and then you get back and do your second spot. And go, it was fantastic.
The 3 on there. Sorry to interject in your part.
That's all right. Go on.
So you've got me off on one now. Those 3 clubs. I mean, I worked them regular. Park and Ave thought that went first. Then it was the Manor. Then it was the Arundel. That were all in a row. But the Manor has just burnt down. In very suspicious circumstances.
Yes.
But the Arundel is still going. The Arundel used to have 5 or 6 acts a week.
Yeah.
And he used to be backed by the organist and drummer Sid and Dave, as I recall. He used to have 2 acts a night. So I'd be on with a female singer or whatever. And you'd rotate and do it every sort of 3 months.
Yeah.
But the 2 things I always remember about the Arundel And this isn't any way knocking them if they're watching this, because they will tell you this is actually what happens. The first one is whenever you get your gear out, you used to park at the back of the manor, and you have to go up some metal, like a flight of metal stairs to get your gear in. And they always said, don't leave your car there because it'll get pinched. So you had to park it over the road. But then this one particular time I went up the stairs, knocked on the door like you had to. The door would open. The concert secretary was stood there, and his opening line to me was, "Not you again."
That's a great welcome, isn't it?
Like, my name's been on the wall all month. Surely you know it's not a surprise.
I like it. I like it. Okay, Kyle, let's get back to you. Let's not take the shine away. Now, Kyle, you come from a great city, great football team, I think. Yeah, is that correct? Would you say that or no?
Well, there's two: Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, and
okay, but a great shopping centre then.
brilliant shopping centre. Absolutely.
Kyle, you must have been very young when you went on Britain's Got Talent. How old was you?
Yeah. So I was 15 when I went on BGT, and I'm 23 now. So it's 8 years ago, and I'm going on 24. So yeah, it's 9 years in my eyes from BGT. So a long time ago, 2017 it was.
How did I mean? Was it you who applied, or did your family apply?
Yeah, so we my story all started from Susan Boyle. Is my dad used to work in the working men's clubs. He used to be had his own band there. He used to front a band, a Commitments tribute band, a rock band, called Steeler. But then once he stopped doing that, he carried on in the working men's club as a karaoke DJ kind of person, and he called it cabaroke. It's a cabaret. And I used to go on there all the time, and I used to go with my dad and sing on the karaoke, and it was always the same reaction of, oh, here we go, it's a kid on the microphone now. This is going to sing something modern, and it's going to be something stupid or whatever. And I kind of like a weird relation, but I related myself to like Susan Boyle, because everybody walked out. When Susan Boyle walked out, it was a case of everybody saw her and went, oh God, this is going to be abysmal. And then it wasn't. And then I kind of had that, oh wow, okay, so if she can do it, I can. So I auditioned originally when I was 12 years old. And a fact about me is in my right ear, I'm 80% deaf. So what that basically means, and just to keep it short, is I struggle to hear the music that that people can listen to. So how I actually pitch and how I tone and how I keep the melody, etc., is through vibrations. I usually play with a live band, so it's either the bass bins are up massively, so I feel the vibration on my feet, or I follow the drum, or whatever, and that's how I do that. But when I was 12 years old, I didn't have that technique learnt. I didn't have the vibration thing learnt. So I went away for 3 years, and my grandma paid every single penny in her pension to actually get me singing lessons and get me a specialized tutor to learn me that technique. And when I came back 3 years later, I did the whole technique, and it was a completely different scenario. And it was, David, you told me to go away and get a singing teacher, and I came back and proved David wrong, if you will. So it's a hell of a story. I've lived a hell of a life in 23 years. It's mental, but I'm grateful for it every single day. And
Kyle, you must have done well, and the nation voted for you. You got to the final. How did you feel when you got to the final? Did you think you was going to win it, or did you think...
I never thought once I would even get to the final. I never thought once I'd get the golden buzzer. I didn't think once that I would even get that far. I thought, I'd just get there on the audition. Let's see what happens and kind of take it from there. But to get to the final, it was insane. It was, I became the highest singer on there, so the highest vocalist that there was at the end of the day. BGT's a variety show, so pianist, magicians, etc., comedians, and to get even be considered the top vocalist on the show was mind-blowing. It was genuinely mind-blowing. From a guy living on a council estate to literally overnight, it was number one trending. My audition was number one trending on YouTube for 2 days. worldwide now. He's got like 350 million views worldwide. It just completely changed my life overnight, and it really is that you get your 15 minutes of fame and it can switch, and it did, and it was just, yeah, it was incredible. People came, I went into schools and spoke about bullying, and I'm a 15-year-old boy, you know what I mean? I'm talking, giving speeches and talks in the schools, and especially
Just
around
remind us again, who give you the golden buzzer?
David Williams.
Ah, right.
David
okay.
Williams. This
Is that
is the
why you
thing.
went?
Yeah. The thing is with David, it was kind of like a weird, like rare situation to happen. Now, if you watch BGT, or if you're a big fan of BGT, you usually find when David was on it, he's no longer on it. But David used to do like the joke acts, if you will, and whenever Simon was getting fed up or annoyed or whatever, David would bang the golden buzzer to put them through to annoy Simon. So it was definitely a joke act situation. And then I hope he saw me as the actual first serious act and not a joke act. And it was like, hang on a minute, why is David doing that? And it was then the whole redemption story, and it was the whole coming back stronger and never giving up on your dreams, and just never giving up in general. And yeah, the story just kind of took the world by storm. Or especially Sheffield.
Congratulations. Yeah.
It was incredible. It changed my life, and I'm living the dream now, so I can't complain.
You are living the dream, and it's not easy, because you can sing in a pub on a karaoke in front of a few people and still have nerves. You can go to a working men's club to 1,000 people, still have nerves. But going on telly must be just, it's
definitely daunting. It's definitely daunting.
I can imagine it is. I mean, I always say that if you go on stage and you're still nervous, there's something about you. Is that right, Adam? I think you'd say the same. It's natural to be nervous. You can't just come out and be Mr. Perfect and not be nervous.
I think you're right, but I think there's varying degrees of what you'd say is nerves. I mean,
right.
My entire career, weirdly, I've never been what I'd say nervous to the point where I'm shaking and petrified, but I've been apprehensive, and I've gone, thinking, is it going to go well? Studying the wings, is it going to go well? As I've got older, I've never been like nervous as such, but there's always been that doubt in your mind going, am I actually going to go well? And that's, I suppose, a degree of nerves. So as long as you've got that feeling of you wanting to do well and you want to go out there hoping that the audience is going to enjoy it. Like I say, as I've got older, though, it's more, for me, it's more like I've come to the realization I'll go out and do what I do and they'll like it or they won't.
Yeah, true.
I'm not about to rewrite my entire show in the wings.
But what I'm saying, Adam, is Cowell's been through different than what we've been through. He's been on actually live television.
Yeah,
and, that must be. I mean, coming from Cowell, from not being in the Clubland and having the background we've got.
Yeah, I was in school.
Scary. I know, and a schoolboy. It's just so scary.
That said, I've just done a show down in London a month ago. I'm a member of an organisation called the Grand Order of Water Rats, and I did a show for them, and I only had to do 4 things. Like, I did 4 pieces. I did 2 at the piano. I did 2 boogie woogie numbers at the piano. I then sang a Neil Diamond song, because I'm a Neil Diamond tribute as well. I then finished with Nessun Dorma, because I trained in opera as well. But I thought I'll try and do a bit of everything, and I must say that is the first time that I can remember that I've walked on a stage absolutely petrified, and I was nervous, and I was shaking nervous. Yeah, and I think it's because it's my peers, when you're singing for your peers, and it was
that's definitely that's the tough thing. The thing is, what I think it is, when it boils down to it, is the reason why it's the nerves is you're putting yourself on the line to be judged. You're saying, this is me now. You either like me or you don't, and I'm going to. People voice their opinions regardless whether you want them or not. If they don't like your show, they will say we didn't like that one.
Certainly on ships they do, yeah.
Definitely on ships. They definitely say their mind on ships, and that's what I think for me anyway. In the stage, it's like, right. I always say you can tell they're going to be a good audience if they clap when you walk out. Like I do a little video intro of like the BGT thing, and then my music comes and I'll walk out singing. And if they clap, we're in for a good night, ladies and gents. Here we go. If they don't, it's like these are going to be tough to get, and it's just. But once you've got them, you've got them. But if you can't grab them and you can't get the attention, or they're not really bothered and not in it, that's where your problems will start. And
Yeah, Carl, let's remind the viewers of you on Britain's Got Talent now.
Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. I'm by myself all night long, hoping you're someone I used to know. You look like a movie, you sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of where we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song, and a part of me keeps owning up just in case it ends a gone. I guess I still care. Do you still care? It's just like a movie, it was just like a song. My God, this reminds me where we were young. Let me photograph you in this light in case it is the last time that we might be exactly like we were before we realized we were sad of getting old and made us restless. It was just like a movie, it was just like a song when we were young.
Okay, hope the viewers enjoyed that as much as we did. So we've seen the video of Adam and what he does on the cruises and things like that. We've seen Carl, and I'm sure the nation will remember and love you, Carl, for what you did on Britain's
I
Got
look very
Talent.
different now, though.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully better looking now.
What,
look
did you not
better
have a
than-
beard when you were that young?
I didn't have a beard. Definitely didn't have a beard.
I'm intrigued. How did you get on with Simon Cowell?
You know what? Out of all of them, like, they were all great people. They were all lovely people. But probably out of all of them, he was probably the most down-to-earth, approachable person of them all. Which everybody knows Simon Cowell as this
Yeah.
evil guy, and he's this big, scary, dangerous man that will say his mind and whatever. It was crazy. We finished the final. A little story for you. We finished the final. He was outside and he had this beautiful midnight purple Bentley with chrome alloys, and it was beautiful, right?
Likes to keep under the radar, then, you know.
Yeah, very
not
under the
too
radar.
flashy,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. There was nothing too flashy or anything. And outside the door, like, to get into the vehicle, there was two big bodyguards and bouncers and whatever, and he's there talking to fans and taking photos and signing photos, etc. And my family, we were stood there with my family, and my family said, we'd love to get a photo with him, like just a memory, and we'd love to get something. And I went, all right then, come on then. And they went, what do you mean, come on then? He's Simon Cowell. You can't just walk up to Simon Cowell. I went, watch me walk up to him. And I walked up to him and I cut through all the fans and the followers that he had. I said, Timon, do you mind, mate? Can we just have a photo with you, like with my family and stuff? And he went, absolutely. And one of the fans kind of kicked off a little bit about it. And he said, well, we've been waiting here and whatever. And he said, yeah, but I prioritise my acts. I prioritise the people that made the show that you've come and seen. So he had us back straight away. He got one of his bouncers to put back up the Midnight Bentley. And he went, do you guys drink? And obviously not me. I was 15 at the time. But my parents, my brother, like they had a drink or whatever. And he said, do you guys drink? And he went, yeah, of course we do. And he opened up the boots of his car. And inside the car was crates of Budweiser, Stella, Carlin. And he gave a crate to each one of the families.
It's just robbed an off license.
No, 100%. He just started an off license, man. He was like, and he went, thank you. Give a crate to each of my family members. And he said, have a drink on me. Have a good night. Thank you for being part of the show, and we'll be in touch soon. And got in his car and he went. And it was like,
Oh my God,
what a little memory that was. It was lovely. It was really, really nice. He's a great guy.
and one
Give
for
me
your
crates of
family.
beer.
You get balls of Smarties in your dressing room, don't you, Adam, on the show?
You must be joking. You must be kidding, right?
Right, let's get back to the two of you, because the reason why we're on a double whammy is because you've both met each other on cruising, and you've written a song.
Yeah.
Correct?
Certainly have. It's the title track of what's going to be an album. I'm actually working on the second track as it is. Don't worry, Kyle. It is going to be finished.
No, it's
Don't
all
worry.
good, man. It's all good.
So I'm working on that. Every time I seem to work on one of his tracks, a load of other work comes in that I have to do sort of like yesterday, you know. So it's been madness. I'll talk to you about it later, Kyle. But yeah, so we worked on a ship together and got chatting, obviously got on great from like the word go, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we sat out on the back just having a chat, and Kyle happened to mention that he'd written a song. But bear in mind, we knew relatively little about each other at this moment in time. And he said he was looking for somebody who could write music and compose a track for him. And I said, well, I'd do that. As you know, I can have a look at it if you want. And he said, well, yeah, brilliant. So he played it for me, like his little demo of what he'd written. And I said, yeah. And he told me the brief, and he said, I want to make it like I want to go down the route of like a rock modern country style, which I think really suits Kyle actually incredibly well. What do you think? And I said, yeah, why not? So I went away, did the track, but the way I wanted to do it was, although I don't want it to be traditional country, it needs to be modern country. I said, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the arrangement like you'd have on BGT. Because whenever you see somebody on BGT or X Factor, like Sydney Christmas and people like that, they always have these grand arrangements of songs that you know, popular songs, and then they make them as these grand arrangements. I said, so I want to do this country thing, but with that element of a grand sort of orchestration with it, just so you've still got your identity of where you came from the BGT thing. And we did it and recorded it, and it's been getting great reviews and remarks from people. Went to the BBC with it, and yeah, it's all going great. And the album, I think, is going to be a cracking album when it's done. I really do.
So the talent between you is Carl writes the lyrics and you produce the music. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely it.
That's
And well, like an Elton John and Bernie Taupin, it suits me down to the ground, because I always wanted fortune and not fame. So I'm happiest, although I've had a lifetime of being on the stage, I'm probably happiest sat in the studio, and I quite like walking around the supermarket and not being stopped and all that. So
Yeah. And so the future is that. Have you got any plans to sort of like work together, as you being his manager, musician kind of thing, or are you just going to continue with your separate ways and see how things goes?
yeah, I think there's always an opportunity for a collaboration at some point down the line, but I think at this moment in time, I think Kyle's certainly a fraction of my age, which is always a good thing. So time's on his side. And he's an incredible singer as well, which again, absolutely walks all over me vocally, so he's certainly the man for the job. And I think, let him go out and be famous and do all the flying about. So I've been in show business for 26 years. So I've sort of been everywhere, done everything. It doesn't owe me anything. I've been to every country. I've been around the world a million times, been on every ship. So I'm really happy to see Kyle do this. It's great to watch him flourish and go on. And all I want is the best for him. So I want to push him further and further and further. And certainly with our arrangements, I think we're really capable of some really good stuff, actually.
Is there, Kyle, is there any limitations with you being on BGT about you, any copyright, things like that? Anything that you produce, does it have to go to BGT
No.
or nothing?
No,
You
no.
got-
So when you go into that whole thing, it's a bit of a weird situation, and I'm really going in the behind the scenes here on BGT. But there is a clause in the contract for you. Luckily, I didn't write the song when I was on BGT because I wouldn't have progressed as much as I did on BGT because of this one clause, and a lot of people dropped out. There was a clause to actually get into the live shows that any song you have written ever is then owned, and you have to sign over copyright to Psycho,
Wow.
which is Simon Cowell's company. So let's say, for example, I went on Britain's Got Talent now and went on to do really well, etc. A Timeless Tale would then be owned by Psycho.
He bloody wouldn't. He'd have to come and fight me for it first. I'll tell him where to shove his midnight purple Bentley.
But it's from that point. So after the show's completed, you're signed to them for 5 months, and then after 5 months, they choose to permanently sign you or not. I didn't because I was going through my GCSEs and I was still going through school, so I was too young to be signed. But then, because obviously it causes complications, like I can't be in an event after 9 o'clock, for example, that was like a big thing. So they decided not to sign me. And then, so the copyright side of things and everything like that, no. But the thing is, you always obviously ride off the back. Britain's Got Talent title has a lot of weight behind it. As soon as you say "as seen on Britain's Got Talent," you're instantly Googling a name and you're looking at, okay, who is this guy, and so on. So in that sense, it's always brilliant. But in the actual copyright sense, no, we don't.
Some friends of mine, you've probably seen them, probably both Adam and Carl, the Garnett family. Do you remember? Yeah,
What?
there was that. They're from Hull. Helen Garnett. She
Garnett.
and her 3 daughters, the Garnett family.
No, they don't ring a bell.
Yeah, they was on Britain's Got Talent, and they said they didn't continue because of the signing up thing. They didn't want to be signed because they
Right.
already had a lot of songs, and I think there's a lot of controversy over all that, and I'm sure Carl can shed light on it like you just have done. But to be locked into a contract with Psycho, you produce a song and he don't like it and it don't get released, and you kind of like stuck at you in some ways.
Do you know what? It ain't just the contract and the signing. I get an email every single year. I have done for years and years and years. I've had one this year, and I know a lot of other people have as well. Basically saying, "Do you want to come on this year's Britain's Got Talent?
Ah,
Don't worry about going through auditions. We'll put you in at this round and things like that." So it's not quite as it seems. I never go for it because it's not for me. Like I said before, I've never had any aspirations of being famous. I'd like to be respected by my peers. And I feel like being a brother of the Water Rats, which is what this is here, this emblem, I feel like I've achieved that. So all I want is respect from my peers, really, and to feel like, oh, he does a good job. I've never wanted to be a megastar. So it's not really for me. But I do know other people, friends of mine, who have been through the process of Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, The Voice. My partner, in fact, Katie, she's not here right now, but she was on X Factor, I think, and she got so far and did pretty well with it. And I've heard stories from all these people, and there are more horror stories than they are
yeah,
good.
I can imagine.
If I'm being honest, and I don't want to say what they've told me to not to end up libelous, but
Yeah.
you know,
Adam, can you kindly enlighten my viewers what the Water Rats is all about, please?
yeah, well, you can. I mean, you can check us out on the internet anywhere. And the Grand Order of Water Rats. This is an organisation that's been going for many, many, many years, and it's basically about raising money for charity and philanthropy. It's had a lot of big stars in their ranks, such as going way back, such as Laurel and Hardy, people like that. Paul Daniels was a water rat, and Martin, his son. So many. Rick Wakeman is a water rat. The real big names that I just can't think of off the top of my head right now. But if you go on the website, which I think is gowr.net, or you just search up the Grand Order of Water Rats, you'll find it. I think sounds like Kyle's going to look them up for me as we speak by the sound of things.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate, because you might just save me there. Because if any of the brother rats watches, they'll be like, "Why don't you know your stuff?" So it's incredibly difficult to be initiated into the water rats. It's probably the highest honor, in my opinion, that you can get in show if you have had a life in show business, and it's a real big deal. And when I was initiated into the water rats, it's probably the proudest moment of my career. And I've just written a song for them now, which is another thing that'll be back, Kyle. Just had to write a song, an original song for the Water Rats, for a CD that they're just about to release to raise money for charity. And it's the track's called "We Meet." It's a rock and roll number. I sang it, wrote the lyrics, and played all the instrumentation, and recorded it, and that's going to be on there. And it's a great rock and roll number, and hopefully it'll raise some money. Go on, Kyle. What you found?
People like Tommy Cooper were in it.
Oh,
I'm getting trying to. Les Dawson, George Martin, Sir John Mills, Sir Billy Butlin.
These companion rats, yeah. So I mean, what we have water rats and we have companion rats. Now the water rats are what we are. There's only ever 200 water rats at any one time. That's 180 regular water rats, and then 20 companion rats. Now the companion rats aren't in show business as such, but they're like they raise money for us. They donate money. They're quite high standing people in the world, like the King Charles. He's a companion rat. Yeah, so is what's his name? Yeah, the other royal have. You know what? Age is no good. Prince Michael of Kent, and his son Frederick is a water rat, a companion rat. Many others. Deborah Meaden's dad, he's a companion rat. Many big names.
Alfie Bowe's in there as well.
Alfie Bowe's a water rat.
wow.
I was at his first ball when he was down there. Yeah, lots of past and present. We've had some real big names in the water rats,
Good
and it's a
stuff.
great honour to wear the emblem.
Thank you, Adam, for explaining that, and Carl for looking up some of the people. So,
Thanks,
Carl, moving to you, you've currently got a full diary, have you, Carl, at the moment?
Pretty much, yeah. I usually get about 2 cruises a month, and then when I'm on land, I'll try and get a couple of Warner's events or do my own private events. So it's all systems go. It's very busy, and it's, you know what, I'm not complaining in the slightest. You know, it's
Yeah.
I mentioned to you before we started this, like in COVID, I became a truck tire fitter, so it's very different from fitting tires on the side of the M1, on the side of the motorway. So it's
those days were rubbery.
Oh, they were very rubbery, man. But yeah, you know, and then coming on to and doing what I love to do and putting on my uniform, which is my suit, and going out and doing what I love to do. I'm living the dream, you know, and I can't complain.
Fantastic. And if people, international bookers, I know you've probably got a manager and things like that, how do people book you, Kyle?
So we're actually with the same management, which is nice and easy. So
Yeah.
she's Joe Martin Management. If you go onto her website, which should be Joe Martin Management, then you can probably find us both there. But his social media is a big thing for me. Any social media platform, just Kyle Tomlinson is there. All my accounts are verified. You can book me via that way, and these are loads of ways you can actually get a hold of me. But my manager is Joe Martin, and if you want to come to me personally, then you just Kyle Tomlinson on all social medias. So.
Yeah, same with me. You can just Google me up. I'm just adampress.co.uk. It's got my details on there. But yeah, Tad Management or Joe Martin for me. And yeah, Joe's great. Joe's really great. Well, she's great when she's not on holiday for a month. She's in America at the minute.
But give the woman a break, man.
Do you know? I feel sorry for John, her husband, because I think she's gone away for. They're doing Route 66, so they've been away about a month and a half or something. But I feel sorry for John, her husband, because Joe's never off. She's always working. And
always working.
I've had more texts and emails saying, "Oh, right, cruise like that." I'm thinking, what kind of holiday are you going on? She's always up, always working. Never
She's
off
a brilliant
work.
manager.
She's brilliant.
You know, I could ring her now and say I've got a problem.
She's absolutely
even though she's on a
fantastic.
holiday, she'll answer.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what time of night it is or anything. She's there, so she's one of the best in the business. So.
Yeah, without a doubt.
In closing, I just want to ask you, Adam, what's your connection with Mark Ritchie and the club scene?
Mark, I've known for many, many years, probably, the entirety of my career, if I'm being honest, with the exception of the Butlins and the Pontins thing. When I started in the clubs, I met Mark when he was working for The Stage, when he was a critic for The Stage. And he reviewed me many, many times. First one being not the nicest review, but constructive. And I got to know him as the years went on. And then he, when he left The Stage, he said he was going to start a publication up of his own, which he did. And he asked me to design it. Now, I couldn't do it at the time and design it and review for it as well and things like that and write for it. But I couldn't do it because of work commitments. I was always on the ships all the time. Now I try not to do too many ships. I try and do about between 12 and 15 a year, mainly because I've got two young kids. I've got two young boys, Charlie and Freddie, they're 7 and 8. So I don't want to be away like I was in the early days when we were doing like 30 cruises a year. So when I got a bit more time to do it, I said, yeah, I'll do it. And this was years ago now. I came in at about issue number 20 or something, and we've just done issue number 140. So, and I've been doing it ever since, and we just got closer and got to know each other and things like that. And I'm seeing him a week on Wednesday. I've just done some voiceover work for him, and yeah, it's all.
Great.
That's how I know him, just through the industry, really. You know,
great lad. And is the viewership increasing? Yeah,
it's doing really, really well, because although when we started, we put out a actual hard copy magazine, an A5 hard copy magazine, but the trouble with that is you're beholden to time limits with the printer, because the printer was taking like a week to turn it around, printing costs, postage costs. Things like that. It just weren't. It didn't make any sense. Not just only financially, but also environmentally. You know, everything's going digital now. Yeah, so you can read it on your phones and things like that. So after much pestering, and Mark will tell you this, I pestered him for months and months, saying you need to do away with the print version, just go digital. And finally, he came around and said, well, okay, let's do it then. And now I also have no constraints with bleed, with the design work. I can go mad now because I've got as much space, pagination, and it's gone from strength to strength because of it, really.
Yeah, good. Carl won't remember. Oh, he might do with his dad bringing home a Clubman's Guide.
Yeah, I don't
remember the Clubman's Guide. I used to have boxes of them.
Yeah, the Clubman's Guide. The Clubman's Guide. He used to sell them. They're only about 20 pence or something.
Yeah.
But what they were, you used to go into a club.
Cheaper than a Freddo, that.
I know. I know it is now, and that
it is nowadays.
But he used to pick these books up, and what it'd do is all the clubs in the area were in this book, and it'd tell you who was on, what acts were appearing. It was great. Cool. And if you ever saw when the first time you ever saw your own name in the Clubman's Guide,
that was
you're
great
like,
feeling.
You know.
Especially if he was on the front cover.
Oh yeah, Not brilliant. They always used to put the old pictures on, and then when they turned up at the
Yeah.
gig, it was a picture that I'd done 40 years ago, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Still the same now, man.
You're talking about prices, Carl. I remember when I was doing the clubs, I used to go for a Ginsters. They used to be £1.20. They're about £7 now, aren't they, Carl?
I remember when I started out, there weren't such thing as Ginsters when I was
Correct.
I don't even know what one is, to be honest. I thought you mispronounced Guinness. I'm not going to lie.
God awful pasties that you get from petrol stations. They're horrible.
No idea.
I
man,
can't
no
believe
idea.
that he was a lorry tyre changer. You don't know what a Ginsters is. My
I
God.
know.
Nowadays
Just
it's
out
KFC,
of
mate.
interest, did you ever hear of the Redbeck Cafe in Wakefield?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Redbeck, all the acts used to go to the Redbeck. They
Correct.
stayed open all night, 24 hours.
Oh.
And all the acts used to go there afterwards.
Yeah.
So you can have
Yeah.
a breakfast at 1:30 in the morning, you know.
Oh,
full
now
breakfast.
now we're talking.
Well,
there we go.
Honestly, it weren't worth it. It was awful, but
Greasy.
it should-
Adam,
just shut
do you
down.
remember? Do you remember staying at Spennymoor, the farm?
I never did it. I
Ah.
know of it, but I never did the
Yeah.
digs because the runs had all finished by the time I started.
Ah, right. Okay.
So I never did it. Yeah, the one in Wales, weren't there, and one up northeast, and I just missed out on that.
Okay.
But I did certainly do all the run in Blackpool and everything, and
Good.
did all them great gigs in Blackpool and the clubs that were just fantastic. There'd be 3 on a night, you know.
Yeah.
It was great, you know.
It
Queuing
was, it was.
outside the Philharmonic Club, the Brunswick,
Oh.
and everything. The queue. It was great days.
Kyle's got all this to come. Well, not in Clubland, thank God.
Yeah,
One
no,
ear
I
shut
should
out
miss
the
all
other
that,
one, I'm
mate.
not
Look
gonna
at you.
Long may the cruising continue.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
So we've been watching the showcase, and today's been an exquisite episode. I've really enjoyed it. A double whammy. We've had Carl Tomlinson. You're not a brother of the in relation to the singer Tomlinson, are you?
No.
Thank God for that.
No,
Okay.
no, my own man.
Carl Tomlinson, who was Britain's Got BGT finalist and great singer, great guy, and of course Mr. Adam Press, who's a piano extraordinaire.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Check us out though, please do. And if you want to hear the song, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Just check out Kyle Tomlinson,
I'm
Timeless
going to
Tale.
put that on the end. Yeah. Yeah.
It's on every streaming site. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify and all the usual
Yeah.
channels as well.
So the viewers will be able to watch it after this interview. So on behalf of Kyle, thank you.
No, you're welcome, man. Thank you for having us.
On behalf of Adam, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us.
Welcome.
In the quiet of the morning light, hand in mind, feels so right. We weather storms, times in doubt, and each other's love we figured out. We were young and didn't know how love would bloom, how it would grow. Through every tear and every smile, we walked together mile by mile. Silver streets and lines that trace stories written on our face. Every year that passes by, we found a reasons to defy.